Hi everyone, Janey here. Welcome back to my garden. I am in the orchard this morning, otherwise known as my Best for the West garden. So for those of you who don't know, I call this my Best for the West garden because I am planting only plants that do well in our climate out here on the West Coast, or the Western United States, which is hot and which is dry. So basically we have our USDA zones, climate zones, and they span the whole United States. But they don't give the whole story. I always say this, I am zone 9B. Florida is also zone 9B. And Florida's zone 9B is very different than my zone 9B because Florida has humidity and I have very, very, very dry weather. And a lot of you who live over here on the Western United States have the same weather as I do. Very, very dry and very, very hot. So it's kind of been a thing that I've been kind of pushing and talking about all the time, that there's a difference. There's a difference between plants that can handle the South United States, the Southern United States zone, higher zones, and our higher zones over here on the West, in the West. So you all know that when I started my YouTube channel, I started working with Proven Winners, and I love Proven Winners. It is my absolute favorite plant brand because they're the best. I mean, just hands down, they're the best plants. They perform the best. They bloom the best. They have the best selection. I just absolutely love them, and I feel so lucky to be able to work with them. Another reason why I feel so lucky to be able to work with them is I get these crazy ideas and sometimes they say yes to my crazy ideas. So a lot of you know that my goal has been to get Proven Winners in the hands of those of us over here on the West Coast that don't have access to Proven Winners. Proven Winners is mainly a Midwestern company, and so in the Midwest, there's tons of Proven Winners. You guys are so lucky out there in the Midwest and even the Northeast and some parts of the East Coast. You guys are so lucky because you have so much access to Proven Winners. But those of us on the West Coast, I know some people, people in Texas and people in Florida have a hard time finding Proven Winners. So it's kind of been my goal to figure out why it's been so hard to get plants out here, and then just to see if we can do, the masses can do anything about it, And so earlier this year, I had the idea of doing a Proven Winners pop-up. It was a huge, huge success. We had kind of like this party and sold tickets and sold Proven Winners annuals, and we sold out so fast. Those of you who came, it was such a fun day. And my plan was to continue doing pop-ups like that. And I want to still do pop-ups, but I wanted to think of what was a way to make even more people be able to get Proven Winners plants that want them over here on the West. So, long story short, this is kind of my first time talking about this to you all because it's not coming out until next year. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a collection of basically 10 plants, 10 plus 2, 10 plants that we can kind of get out into the hands of independent garden centers to sell to all of you in the Western United States, and make it really, really easy because we know that those plants do really, really well out here in our hot, dry weather, and it's just a small collection, so it makes it a little bit more accessible for independent garden centers. So we have been working very, very hard behind the scenes. We've been talking to growers, we've been talking to the breeders, we've been talking to the independent garden centers, trying to get everybody on the same page to carry and to support this line, which is called the Best for the West line. And like I said, it's 10 plants, it's 7 annuals, 3 perennials, and then plus 2 shrubs because I just had to add them in. And basically we've been working with a couple growers over on the West Coast, one in Oregon and one in Southern California. And we've talked to them about specifically growing these plants and then being able to have them available for independent garden centers in the Western United States to get this whole collection and have it, and then be able to tell all of you, hey, your local nursery has the Best for the West collection. Your local nursery has the Best for the West collection. And so far, it's good. I think it's going to be a really, really big success. I think it's going to be really fun. We already have a bunch of independent garden centers lined up that have already ordered the Best for the West collection. So these plants are coming to you guys next season. And I am just so excited about it because I know how much I want access to these plants. I'm spoiled and I get these plants sent to me now that I work for Proven Winners, but I know how hard it was to find these plants around me and how much I wanted to get them, and how much I didn't want to order them online. I wanted to get them at my local garden center, and now we're going to be able to do that. So you all are probably wondering what the plants are that are in the Best for the West collection. So in no particular order, we have 7 annuals. We have Truffula Pink Gomphrena, Plain the Blue Salvia, of course, Lemon Coral Sedum, of course, Meteor Shower Verbena, we have Ladybird Sunglow Callilopsis, we have Pink Cashmere Superbena. How could I not include that? It's just a fabulous plant. And then one for the shade, sun/shade, we have Surefire Rose Begonia. All plants that I love that perform so incredibly well for us out here on the West Coast. For the perennials, I have Denim and Lace Russian Sage, of course. I have Orange Blaze Nyphophia. You all know how obsessed I've been with Nyphophia lately. Had to put it in the collection. And then, of course, Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. Now, Cat's Pajamas Nepeta is a funny one because it is only rated to zone 8. But over here in zone 9, where it's dry, it performs absolutely beautifully. So I had to put this in my collection. It is just an absolute rock star in my garden, and I'm actually going to be planting this in my garden today. Now, the 2 shrubs that I have in the collection, which, you know, I started off with the collection of 10, and then I thought, man, I really should add shrubs because because I want access to more shrubs out here as well. Now, I've always had some access to Proven Winner shrubs out here. We get a lot of buddleias, we get a lot of azaleas, we do get some hydrangeas, access to some hydrangeas out here, but I want some more. So I added El Nino Chiltalpa, which is an absolute fantastic plant. I have mine planted over in the center island, and I am just so excited about that plant because it's so beautiful, and I always see hummingbirds on it. Same as the Chiclet Orange Esperanza Tacoma. It is such a beautiful plant, and I heard through the grapevine that they're coming out with some more colors, so I'm very excited about that as well. So that is my Best for the West collection. Head to your local garden center and tell them that you would like for them to carry Proven Winner's Best for the West collection next year. You can give them my name, my contact info, my YouTube channel if they have any questions, but put a little bug in their ear because right now is the time that garden centers are thinking about their orders for next season. Okay, Monty wants me to stop talking and start planting. Is that your frisbee? That's a nice frisbee, buddy. Okay, ready? This dog, you guys, he is just, oh my God. You got it! Oh my goodness, you got it! Okay, so like I said, I am planting over here in my Best for the West garden, otherwise known as my orchard garden, and I am planting Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. Now, I have the Cat's Pajamas Nepeta in 2 other spots. I have a grouping of it right here that is just looking so good. It's on its 2nd flush of the season. And then I have another grouping over here, also on its 2nd flush, right over here, and you can see it is in bloom again. It's been in bloom absolutely all season long. I have the Lemon Coral Sedum in front of it, and then I did want to show you, we got the other Podocarpus planted right here, so it's going to grow nice and tall, and again, we will keep it trimmed up so it stays away from the Tacoma right here. This is one of the options that was one of the shrubs that was in Best for the West. Look at how good this plant is. This plant is just beautiful, and I don't know what new colors they're coming out with, but I'm going to find out because I'm going to be planting them. So I am planning to plant some of this Cat's Pajamas Nepeta right here. So right over here, I have some of the Surefire Rose Begonia that is just looking absolutely stunning right now. And then I have some Helen von Stein Lambsir, which is another absolutely fabulous plant for the West. Proven Winners doesn't carry that, but they should. And then right next to it, I want to plant some more Nepeta, Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. Now, I do have to prune some of this orange tree. That's why I have my automatic pruners out. I just want to show you guys. Can you see all the fruit? Holy cow. Holy cow. we've got some fresh squeezed orange juice in our future, which I'm very excited about. But if you look at over here, this is a really good example of why having a West collection, not just West Coast. I don't want you guys to think it's West Coast because it's kind of everywhere that's hot and dry. This is why I think it's important to have a West collection of plants, because this one is called pineapple lily. There we go. It's called pineapple lily, and I had really high hopes for this plant. It's supposed to do really, really well in heat. It's supposed to be able to handle the heat absolutely no problem and look really, really pretty. Well, you can see what happened in my heat. So I have a feeling that this plant is really good in hot and humid areas and not as good in hot and dry areas. Now, I kind of wanted to give it a chance because you can see the white flag right there. The white flag means that there was some gopher activity right there. So, don't take my word for it that this is not a good plant. I'm still kind of figuring it out. But so far this year, it's pretty much looked like this all year. And I think that our dry heat, and it's hooked up to drip and everything, I think that our dry heat is just a little bit too much for it. So this is kind of what I want to do in this garden, is I want to try out these plants that are supposed to be good for us in the heat, but then I can say, nah, that one's not too good. Yet this one that's only rated to zone 8, it's not even in my zone, is an absolute rock star. So anyway, that's my plan for this garden, almost like a little trial garden. So I'm going to be planting the nepeta right here. I think it'll look really pretty, and it'll have nice contrast where I have pink, the silvery, and then some purple right there. More off than I had planned to, but I actually really like it. I think it looks great. Jason just came home from dropping the girls off at school, and he says it looks great too. He's happy with it. There is more I still need to do, clean up some more suckers on the backside, but I will get to that. I have a huge pile that I got to deal with, and I also have that other orange tree too, so I will get to it. But it's crazy. It creeps up on you how slow this grows. I mean, it doesn't grow slow, it goes really fast, but it creeps up on you how much it's grown. And then I prune it back, and it's like, oh, that looks way better. That's what it should look like. Look at all the planting area I have underneath it. So underneath it, I am going to plant Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, one of my Best for the West selections in the collection. Just as a reminder for Best for the West, just as a reminder for Nepeta, Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, it is hardy zones 3 through 8. But again, here in zone 9B, it is an absolute rock star. It is such a great, great plant. And you can see those little tubular purple flowers. The butterflies love these. The bees love these and the hummingbirds love these. They just always have pollinators on it, which is just so great. I would shear this back at least once a season, and then you'll get a second flush, which is great. And then shearing it back prevents it from spreading in the middle, kind of like that. As long as you keep it kind of sheared and keep it kind of close, and you really can shear it back like pretty far, it keeps it nice and compact and just this beautiful little mound of purple. I love it. And I also love the smell. Let me know if you like the smell of nepeta, but it just has this memory for me of just being in the garden and being happy. I don't know what it is, but I just love it. So Cat's Pajamas nepeta, it only gets about 12 inches tall, but it spreads to about 20 inches wide, and of course full sun. So now that I've pruned up the orange tree, it's going to look really good, like right here. I can't decide if I want to take out that pineapple lily or give it another chance. I think I want to take it out. I'm not going to do anything today. I'll think about it. I did want to show you, though, this bug barrier. So a couple months ago, I put this saran wrap and then I put this sticky bug barrier on it so the ants couldn't climb up into the orange tree, because ants actually, what's called farming aphids. So ants will actually protect aphids from their predators because ants like to eat aphid poop, aphid honeydew. And so if you see ants climbing up a tree, usually what they're doing, I mean, they might be getting some of the fruit that was up here, but usually what they're doing is they're protecting the aphids that are up in the tree so that the aphids can continue to reproduce and produce honeydew, and so the ants can eat it. So to deal with aphids in a tree, you want to deal with the ants on the stump right here, or the trunk right here. And so I used this barrier and it worked really, really well. Can you see all those ants that are on there? And now they kind of just stopped. I don't see any more ants trying to climb up, which is fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started planting this nepeta. Like I said, I'm just going to plant it kind of in mass right here. I think it'll be really, really pretty. We've actually already amended the soil. It already has 6 inches of compost on it. So it's going to be a really easy planting. So let's go. All right, so this is how far I got. I got 14 in. I have 1 left to plant. You'll see right there. So I planted them close enough that they'll end up being kind of like a big mass of purple, which is what I want. I think it'll look really pretty, especially right next to the Helen von Stein and the Surefire Rose. Now you can see I didn't get one planted because as I was using the auger, I ran into one of our tubes. So this is the one that goes underneath our pathway. So it's kind of an important one. So we're gonna fix that and then plant this last one as soon as we finish this pile. Jason has already started working on it. Thank you, Jason. You love that tool, huh?
really nice.
So I did end up taking out one of these pineapple lilies, and when I took it out, you can see the root system is totally fine. So I don't think it was a gopher that bothered these. I think they're just not very happy. I honestly don't know if they just need one more year to kind of settle in. So maybe I'll leave a couple of them, but I did take this one out so that I could plant that one right there, that nepeta right there. So anyway, we will be fixing this. We will be breaking down all of this and trying to fit it in that one bin. I don't think it's going to fit. We do have a compost bin in the backyard, but these are pretty big branches. I don't think I really want to put those in the compost bin. But yeah, we got some stuff done. And again, for those of you in the Western United States, go kindly ask your local independent garden center if they would be willing to carry the Proven Winners Best for the West collection next year. It's going to be good. I've got a lot of fun stuff coming out, like stuff on the website and videos and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be really great. I'm super excited about it. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.